Alright, this is Unit 4 vocabulary. We started with different housing signs. The sign for house. House. We also talked about home. It wasn't in your unit, but we added it. Home is the squish O hand shape. Goes from the side of your mouth back to your ear. Home. Apartment is just abbreviated, APT. And then dorm is with the D, side of your mouth, back. So you have house, home, apartment, and dorm. Then we went over some different transportation signs. Sign for car. Then we talked about drive, how drive just kind of moves out from your body. Bicycle, those S hands. Motorcycle. Bus, it's a lone sign, just B-U-S. Train is the two U hands, one on top of the other, and they kind of goes back and forth. Train. Airplane, so it's that I love you hand shape. Airplane. And then walking. Walking. Okay? We talked about two signs for ride. So if you're riding in like a car or a train or another such vehicle, it's ride. So you got that C hand, and then that U hand kind of hooks on the thumb there, and you push both of those hands forward. So ride. If you're riding a horse or a bike, something that you straddle, then you have the little person straddling, and that would be ride. So depending on context, that sign changes. Ride or ride. Alright, then we talked about different locations. Two different signs for the word here. You can do here, so closed five hands, palms up, and they make tiny circles. Here, you can also just point right here. For there, you're just going to use your pointer finger and just point to whatever you're talking about. So if you want to say up there, or down there, or under there, or over there, you just point to it, okay? And then the last sign we learned in that unit was live, which can also be signed two ways. So you can do live with those L hands from your hips up to your shoulders, or you'll also see people do that sign just with A's, live, and your textbook shows live, this one. Okay, that's Unit 4 vocabulary. Alright, this is Unit 5 vocabulary, which is all about the family. So the first sign we learned was family, which is two F hands. They start touching, palms out, kind of make a circle until your pinkies touch. Family. Alright, for the male family signs, they're all going to be located at the top of your head, by your forehead, and then the female signs are going to be down by your chin, okay? So if it's up here, you know it's male. If it's down here, you know it's female. So the sign for dad is dad, so that's just that open five hand, thumb touches forehead, dad. Sometimes you'll see people tap it a little bit. And then mom, the female, would be down here, okay? Mom. If you move those hands out a little bit, it would be grandfather, and then grandmother, okay? Son and daughter. This is son. So it's kind of like a combination for the sign for boy and then baby. You just kind of end up touching boy. And then daughter, you'll see some people do the sign for girl and then baby, or just kind of start by touching and then go into that baby sign. So son from the forehead, and daughter from the side of the cheek, okay? The sign for children, children, and you can do that with one hand too, like you're patting the heads of the children, children. And then the sign for kid is kid. So it's that pinky and index finger on your nose, and it kind of just twists, kid, or children. Brother, so two L hands touch forehead and then lands on the other hand. And then sister, same thing, but lower by the chin, okay? So brother and sister. If you wanted to say stepbrother or stepsister, it'd be step brother or step sister. All right? The sign for granddaughter or grandson, you just finger spell the grand, so G-R-A-N-D, and then would do daughter. Or you could do grandson. Alright? Uncle is that U hand, and it's up high by your forehead, and it kind of just twists or wiggles. Uncle. And then aunt is an A, but it's going to be down here. So uncle and aunt. Then same thing for niece and nephew. So the nephew would be an N, and it would be up by your head, nephew, and then you drop it down here, and it's niece. Okay, and then likewise, cousin is with that C hand. This would be a female cousin or male cousin. So you see that order of the female signs being down here and male signs being up there. Okay? Husband and wife. So this is just a sign for marry or marriage. Two hands kind of come together. If you do it starting from your forehead, that would be husband, and those hands kind of clasp. If you do it from down here, it would be wife. So marry or marriage, and then husband and wife. All right? Mother-in-law is another one that we talked about, and father-in-law, which were not in the units, but we'll go ahead and undo those. So you do mother-in-law, so that's just the L hand, touches fingertips, and then you're kind of down by your wrist. So mother-in-law or father-in-law. And once again, you could also say your stepmom or your stepdad, okay? Girlfriend and boyfriend. So boyfriend is just a combination of the sign for boy and then the sign for friend. So if you do just this straight up, that's friend. So you could say boyfriend or you could say girlfriend. All right? This is the sign for like you're together or you're dating someone. So it's two A hands, knuckles are touching, and you kind of bob it a little bit. All right? Dating or seeing each other together. Okay? Different living situations we talked about. Roommate was one sign we did. Roommate. So you just got that open 5 hands and your fingers kind of interlock and tap. Roommate. And then just if you live alone, just that single finger. So you live with a roommate or you can live alone. Different life events. We already talked about that's the sign for like dating or you're together with someone. And then this is marriage. The sign for pregnant is pregnant. So you got the open 5 hands and they kind of interlock in front of your stomach. Pregnant. The sign for birth or born. Birth or born. Some people will pull it up too and you can say birth or born. The sign for grow up. So you start down here and you go up. So grow up. Divorce is 2 D's and they start touching and you pull them apart. So you could say you're divorced or you're married. Still living. So to speak of like a relative or your parents, if they're still living, you would do still. So that's 2 Y hands. They kind of start in and they twist out. Still and then living. And like I said, you can do that living sign with the A hands or with the L hands. You'll see it both ways. So still living, or you can say died or passed away. And you'll see that with 2 hands or with 1 hand. So one palm starts up and one palm's down and you just kind of flip them. Okay, or more casual. You could do it with that 1 hand. I think that is most of the family signs that we'll be going over. There were personal pronouns in that unit as well, which you guys already know pretty well. This would be you. This would be me or my. No, this would be, now I'm getting messed up. This would be me or I. And this would be my and mine and you and yours, okay? And then likewise, you could just point and say him or her or his and hers. So personal pronoun is just that index finger, I or me, but then the possessive form of the pronoun would be my or mine, okay? Personal, possessive, all right? And then there were 3 negation signs in there. You guys already know the sign for no as an N-O, so it's just those 3 fingers close together, and you can also tap it like no, no, no. Not or don't is another one that you know. That's the A hand under the chin. It just kind of arches forward, not. And then also none is one that we've talked about. So that's 2 zeros, and you kind of just push them out a little bit, none. And you'll see sometimes people will shake that for like none or nothing, or you can kind of move them out and crisscross them like that, none. So that should be all of Unit 5.